Hey everybody, welcome to Building a Custom EDC Pen Episode 5. Now in Episode 4 we left off with some terrible news, but honestly, it ended up being the best thing that could have happened. So, what we ended up doing was making this a push button actuation with a clip release. And let me tell you, this is so much better in every way. Way more fidgety. Your thumb would have been up in this area anyway. It's just way more fidgety. The sound is better. The actuation's better. It's a win all around. Now, later in this video, you guys are actually going to get to decide a couple of the key design elements, so make sure you stick around for that. Let's get inside and take a closer look at where this pen is at right now. Okay, let's take a closer look at this thing. And the first thing I want you to know is that this pen has tens of thousands of cycles on it. We've had this in the hands of people since the push button was done. And the reason I did that was I wanted you guys to see what a used pen looks like. This pen's actually been dropped. It's been cycled so many times by me and a whole bunch of other people. So what's really neat is we'll be able to take this thing apart and actually show you the wear on the barrel, on the mechanism, all the different wear areas, so we can see how this thing is holding up. So let's get right into it. The first thing I want you to look at is the design element we added on the back here. Those tie in with the grip. They line up, they look really, really good, and they are functional. They're needed because this was just such a blank surface, and so we needed something in the back. It looks really cool. Now, what I want you to look at is right here on the mechanism or on the clip when I actuate the mechanism. So you can really see how this thing works. Pushes it down, and this thing is smooth. Like, it's really, really good. Give you a little closer look here. Yeah. So super fidgety, and the clicking, you know, really solid actuations. Very, very satisfying. I have really enjoyed fidgeting with this thing. Now, here's what I did. There's two springs that go in the sandwich that spread this thing apart. Before, when I was doing this as a clip actuation, your thumb actually pushes against those springs, so I needed really, really strong springs. Well, after actuating this thing and having it in my hand for a couple days, I never ever use the clip. So I thought about making this a dual actuation, but then I'm like, I never use it. I want to make this thing as good as possible. So I lightened the springs. They're different springs, different rates in the sandwich springs, which make the push button actuation better. So this is not a dual action. Like, you can do it, but it's hard because the spring pressure in the sandwich is so light. So folks, I'm just going to tell you, you're just going to have to trust me on this one. This is a button actuation clip release. That's just how it's going to be. I'm not advertising this to actuate it with the clip. And the clip, the back of this clip, is going to get changed on the bottom and the top. So that people don't try to do it that way. I'm not saying you can't do it, but trust me, you're not going to want to do it once you feel how this button feels. Now, the next thing is, we talked about this a little bit in the last video, but people were worried about how this clip is going to rub on the barrel. So what I did was I added a flat in there, but this is really cool. This is the upper part of the mechanism, and these are the lobes that ride in the groove inside of the barrel that actually actuates the mechanism. And these lobes, in relation to these are where the springs go. When you move the lobes this direction, back and forth, it changes how this clip moves when it's actuated. So I can move the lobes so when I push the button, the clip actually tips up like this. Or I can make it so it pushes down. What I chose to do, so I'm going to push the button just a little bit, and you can see no pressure either way. Like, wherever I put this thing, that's where it's going to sit. And so what that does is that there's no pressure pushing down on the barrel when it's actuated. There's no scraping, there's no rubbing, and we're going to take this thing apart. You'll get to see that. But it just makes it really, really smooth, and it was a nice addition to the pen. So I just want to show you something about the actual push button. This is the one that has the tens of thousands of cycles, and as you can see, there's no scratches on it. The reason is because it's turned down, so the part that's inside of the pen is larger diameter than this part. And that's important for looks. You don't want it to get all scratched up. Plus, I want to be able to use exotics down the road, and we definitely don't want those getting scratched up. Now, I do think I'm going to change this slightly where I put it on a little bit of a taper, but I just wanted to point out that it's a little bit smaller, so it's not going to get all scratched up. So let's disassemble this thing and actually take a look and see how it's wearing. So the first thing you want to do is you want this to be retracted. Now you're going to take the nose cap off. And by the way, that nose cap is going to get changed. That's still the Campen nose cap that we're going to talk about later. Now you're going to take this screw out. Easier said than done with the camera here. That comes out. Now, this is all that's left. This is how simple this disassembly and assembly is. Get that so it doesn't roll off the table. So when it's like this, you can see in there, this is the mechanism, and you can see the grooves, and you can see the lobes that we were talking about. All you have to do is just push down on the sandwich, and this thing will just pop right out. Now, there are the 2 springs in there, and because I've changed the springs, the counter bores are not correct, and so the springs just kind of fall out. That will be rectified. These counter bores are set for the heavier springs when I was looking at doing the actuation with the clip only. But that'll be fixed. This is what it looks like. So you can see this is where it's turned down, that sticks out the back. There's the little step there. This is where it's actually rubbing. So this looks really, really good. That's what it looks like inside. The sandwich piece, this is the critical thing. So this side here has a big radius on the lobe, and that's the side that rides up the taper that is in the barrel. So let's take a look at the barrel. Now there is a little bit of lube in there, but as you can see, there's a taper right in there, and that's what collapses the sandwich, then it snaps into this groove. So I put a big radius on that section to make that really smooth, and that's the part that's really gonna wear. And look at that. Now this is made of bronze, and bronze is made for this type of application. It's a heavy, wear-resistant material. So it looks really good. We're looking at the lobes here in particular. And yeah, I mean, the lobes, they look like new. So this is the sharper side. This is the part that goes against the groove, which makes it so when it's actuated, it doesn't push back. So overall, it looks really, really good. Very, very impressed with the wear here. Let's take a look at the barrel now. Give you a close look at that. And that is what the flat looks like where the clip rides. And as you can see, it looks fantastic. So yeah, it's holding up really, really, really well. Yeah, very, very pleased with that. Let's talk about length. How long is this thing? Well, this is a Parker style cam pen, and this is the full length Energel. Take it apart just to show you. Full length Energel, which is what everybody wants right now. Now again, we're going to be offering this in a G2, in the Parker style as well. There's a lot of things that'll be coming down the road, but we're going to start out with the Energel because that's what everybody wanted me to do. So you can see the length is very, very close. To get an actual length on this thing, and I'll go with the push button as well, we're at about 5 inches, 450 thousandths. So a little less than 5.5 inches. Let's talk about weight. Now, keep in mind, this one has a brass clip on here, which we are gonna, the first batch is gonna be with the brass clip. But those, when that's titanium, that's a lot of weight there. So when that's a titanium clip, it's gonna make it way, way less. So we're at 43.6 grams for that one. Let's look at a Zerk cam pen to give you an idea of comparison. We're at 48 grams. So the Zerk cam pen Parker style is actually heavier. And then we have the titanium cam pen Parker style, which is 35.5 grams. So it's in between those two. And like I said, it will be lighter when the back button is titanium and the clip is also made out of titanium. So it would be apples to apples compared to this one. So the nose cap, we talked about this. I'm definitely going to be changing the nose cap. This is the cam pen nose cap. And now we're going to get into the part that you guys are going to get to decide. And that is this diameter. This diameter is exactly the same as a cam pen. It's 410 thousandths in diameter. And I'm going to let you guys choose if we keep it at this diameter or if we make it smaller. My original idea was to make this smaller. Now, if I do, everything's going to have to change. The clip, the mechanism, everything is going to have to change. Here's the advantages and the disadvantages. If we leave it as is and I change this nose cap to a double angle, this nose cap will be interchangeable with a cam pen nose cap. So what that means is if you have one of these and you have a cam pen nose cap and a cam pen, you can actually swap the nose caps and they'll work. So if you want to use a Parker style in here, you can with that nose cap. There'll be a little spacer. Obviously the Parker style refill is shorter, so there'll be a spacer that would come with it. And then you would be able to swap the nose cap. So if you, let's say you have a Timascus Energel cam pen nose cap, you would be able to put that on this pen and use it. So that's the advantage of leaving it. Now, if you guys still, after hearing that, want this smaller, let's say you want it down to 380, 390, something like that, I could definitely get it down to 380 for sure. That's what I need to hear from you, is what diameter do you want this to be? If it's smaller, it's not going to be compatible with the cam pen nose cap, so you just need to know that. Lastly, we need a name for this. Now, this is not done. We're going to make changes, but I want you guys to start thinking of a name. Don't post the name in this video. That's going to be done in the final episode, where you guys are going to get to pull out your name, put it in the replies, and whatever one gets the most upvotes is the one, that's the name we're going to go with. And whoever chose that name, that person is going to get a free pen. So just be thinking about it, you know, the actuation, clip click, or something like that. I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. We have a lot more changes to do. Unfortunately, the machine is down. We had a seal issue go out, so the coolant is getting into the motor. We could wreck the machine. So everything is down for right now. We're not going to be able to do any more advancements on this thing until next week. But that gives you time to really think about all this stuff. I really want your feedback on what you guys think of this pen, what you think of the actuation, the changes, really especially the diameter, if you want that changed. Any feedback, anything you want to throw out, this is the time, because once it's done, it's done. Now, future variations. I could always offer a smaller diameter in the future. I could also offer a Parker style that doesn't have a spacer, where this would be much shorter. I could do both. There's all sorts of things that this design is going to allow us to do because the mechanism is so short. But I really want to hear your guys' feedback. If there's something you think that should be added or taken away, the sky's the limit. Tell me what you think. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you for joining me on this exciting journey. I've had the time of my life with this. I've really enjoyed interacting with you guys throughout this entire process. That's all I got for today. That's it for episode 5. The next episode might be the finished pen. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week.